Dysfunctional Vet. A couple of days ago I showed how I was planing a board to a nominal 1.5 inch of thickness on a long length because I don't have an industrial planer that can handle that. What happened was the pads down on this end were a little soft. They had rotted a little bit, and some of the pads down here, although they are also soft, the power head of the sawmill wasn't down there to press down on the track, so I got variations in my thickness of cutting. I'm replacing the pads, which I'm going to show you how I do that. The pads are cut to 35 inches. It compensates for two things. One, it compensates for the bolts right here that hold this section of track to it, and there's two bolts here on a flange that connect this track to that track, so it makes it one contiguous track when pulling. What I'm using is this little bitty, it's a 1.5 ton scissor jack, and I'll put it in the center, which is right here. This is my continuous track right here, and I'll set it over there. I'll lift up that side. I'll pull these pads out from under it. I'll use my power washer. Well, it's not really a power washer, it's kind of a crappy nozzle, but it works. Keeps me away from the spray, and it allows me to get right down in there and clean all the stuff out. I'll clean all the dirt out of this, and then once I do that, then I'll come back and replace them. Yesterday, when I got up to here, or this section right here, I went ahead and replaced on both sides. I hadn't got this far, which is what I'm going to show you how I do that. However, so you understand why I put these pads under it and then why I shim it up. When I bought this track originally, I think I had 10 feet of track, and that's not enough. So I now have enough track to cut a 20-foot long log, and as a result of that, since this concrete was not all poured at the same time and the subsidence of the land out here is not uniform, I put these pads under here, and at the beginning of each year, which in this case was February, I came back and I leveled everything out, and I should have changed the pads then, but I didn't. But let me show you how I do that, and then we'll get this project on the road. The next step will be to finish doing all the rest of these, and then once those have been replaced all the way down, Then I'll use a very long level. I'll come back, I'll level the track, get everything nice and perfect on my X and Y axis. And then once I have that, I'll throw a log up here, I'll do a cut, I'll check the log for the cut, and if need be, I'll adjust my saw, adjust the head, and then I'll be back to cutting nice flat. But that's all it takes to do this. And I will tell you right now, it looks like this side is down just a fraction. And that's to be expected because this whole area out here, the ground is really subject to heaving or swelling and contraction due to the amount of water that's in the soil. Dysfunctional vet out. Definitely needs to be raised.